Hey guys, today we're talking about adding integers, and we have a few rules that we'll go ahead and talk about, and later on in the unit you'll get another sheet that has these rules plus rules for subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, one, are you adding? Is this an addition problem? If you say yes, then your second step is to check, is it the same sign? Meaning, are they both positive or are they both negative, or are they different signs? So if they're different, you have a different set of rules versus those that are the same. Okay? So if they're the same, the first thing we're going to do is add, just like normal. Add and keep, which means keep that sign. Add like normal and then keep the sign. If they're both negative, your answer is negative. If they're both positive, your answer is positive. And then if they're different, you will subtract. And then you're going to take the sign, this is important, the sign of the number with the largest absolute value. And so last week we worked on absolute value, and remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. So how far is that specific number from 0? It doesn't matter if it's positive or if it is negative. How far is it from 0? Okay? So let's go ahead and do some practice. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So our first example we have is negative 77 plus negative 85. Well, again, first question is this addition? Yes, it's addition. We can tell that. Second question is it the same sign or is it different? Well, this is negative and this one's negative, so same sign. So we go to step 1, add the numbers. So I'm going to come over here and do 77 plus 85 because order doesn't matter for addition. 7 plus 5 is 12, carry my 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. So my answer will be 162. I'm not done though, so that's not my final answer. So that was step 1. Now step 2 says keep the common sign in the answer. Well, our common sign was negative because they're both negative. So my final answer is negative 162. Example 2, same thing. Start with it first, is it addition? Yes, it's an addition problem. What are my signs? Are they the same or different? Well, I have a negative and a positive, so they're different. So I'm going to subtract. I'll come over here and subtract. 48 minus 23. Notice I'm not worried about the negative right now. The negative, this being negative and that being positive is what got me in this column here for different signs. So I'm going to subtract 8 minus 3 is 5, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So 25. But I'm not done. Now I'm on step 2. It says use the sign of the number with the largest absolute value in the answer. So that means I need to come back and look. Okay, what's my absolute value of negative 48? Well, the absolute value of negative 48 is how far is it from 0? Is 48 spaces. What's the absolute value of 23? Well, the absolute value of 23 is 23 because it is 23 spaces from 0. So 48 is my larger absolute value, which means I'm going to take that negative sign with it. And my answer is negative 25. Example 3. We have to start again by looking, do we have an addition problem? Yes, we have an addition problem. Do we have the same sign or different? Well, they're different, so I'm going to go back up to my notes, and you can look back at your notes, and it says different. Well, different means we're going to subtract. So when you're subtracting, order does matter. So 125 on top. I have to borrow 15 minus 7 is going to be 8. I have to borrow again. 11 minus 4 gives me 7. So I've subtracted. But if you look up at step 2 for different signs, it says use the sign of the number with the largest absolute value. Well, 125 has a larger absolute value than 47, so I will take the sign with it. Negative 78. Example 3. This one looks different because it has 3 integers. We have negative 38, negative 10, and 20. And this is no different than any other problem we've done. We're just going to ignore the back half right now. We'll look at negative 38 plus negative 10. And I like to draw a little arrow telling me this is what I'm doing here. This is my step. So, we're ignoring that 20. Well, we have an addition problem, yes. So our signs, same sign or different. They're the same. They're both negative. So we add. 38 plus 10 gives me 48. And we keep the sign. So negative 48. Now I will bring down my plus 20 to finish out the problem. Same thing here. We have an addition problem, but now we have to decide same sign or different. Well, they're different. We have negative and a positive, so that means we're going to subtract. So we'll come over here and subtract, even though you can probably do this in your head. So we have 28. So this is going to be 28. And we have to take the sign with the larger absolute value. Well, the absolute value of negative 48 is 48, and the absolute value of 20 is 20. So we'll say negative 28 is our answer. Okay. And then down here is just a little added extra here. If you add, that means your signs are going the same way. So negative and a negative, or positive and a positive. If you subtract, that means you're different. One's going one way and one's going the other. So a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive. And that is the rules for adding integers. We will have more practice and notes coming soon.